Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fit and healthy. Dear students, now we are going to start a new chapter, that is anatomy of flowering plants. So, first of all, I would like to discuss which topics are there according to the reduced ISC syllabus. So, you have to do the internal structure of root, stem and leaf. In that, you have to do the cellular diagrams of TS of root and stem and VS of monocot and dicot leaves. Then secondary growth in dicot stem you need to do. So these are the topics which are included in the chapter, that is anatomy of flowering plant according to reduced ISS syllabus. So now let us start with the chapter. First of all, you should know what is anatomy. Anatomy is the internal structure of organisms, that is their histology. The term anatomy and histology, they are used interchangeably, and histology means basically the study of tissues. Since here we are dealing with the flowering plants, means we will study the organization of cells and tissues in plants. So you all know that the cell, when group of similar cells of similar origin, common origin and with same function, usually they give rise to tissue, and number of tissues, they form tissue system. Then tissue system give rise to organ, and number of organs, they give rise to organ system. Then finally plant body is formed. So when we will study the plant in detail, we should know what we have to do in tissue system. Then let us see, in tissue you should know there are two types of tissues, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. The meristematic tissue and permanent tissues you have already done in your previous classes. In meristematic tissue, the cells, they are actively dividing. However, in permanent tissues, the cells, they are non-dividing. Then in tissue system, this is a new topic for you. Tissue system in plants, it is of three types: epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system and vascular tissue system. Ground tissue system is basically the outermost tissue system. So let us assume this is the cut section of stem. The outermost layer of the cells forms the epidermal tissue system. Then inside this there is a vascular tissue system. The vascular tissue system, it is forming a conducting tissue system, means it consists of xylem and phloem. The role of xylem is to transport water and the role of phloem is to transport the food in the plant body. So epidermal tissue system, it forms the outermost layer in the plant. Vascular tissue system, it consists of two tissues, that is xylem and phloem, and the one which is left is ground tissue system. So all the tissues in the plant body except the outermost layer, that is epidermal tissue system, and vascular bundles, they form the ground tissue system. So there are three types of tissue system: epidermal tissue system, ground tissue system and vascular tissue system. Then if we will study about organ, the organs in plants are root, stem, leaf, flower, all are organs in the plant body. And discussing about organ system, there are two organ system, that is root system and shoot system. This is just an introductory video so that you should know and revise the types of tissues in plants. Now let us see the meristematic tissue according to the origin. So according to origin, first one is promeristem. This is the initial meristem. So this promeristem consists of meristematic cells which are found in germinating embryo or young seedlings. And promeristem, they are usually also occupies a small area at the tip of stem or root, and they are found in the germinating seedlings or embryos, and therefore they represent the embryonic stage of plant. And promeristem, also known as primordial or embryonic meristem, since it is present in the embryonic stage of plant. Then by repeated cell division, the promeristem give rise to primary meristem. This primary meristem, as you know, it originates from promeristem, and according to the position where it is present, it is represented by apical meristem, intercalary meristem and interfascicular meristem. So apical meristem means if the primary meristem it is present at the tip of root and stem, then we will say it is a apical primary meristem. Intercalary meristem means it is present at the base of node, and you know now what is node, as we have already studied in the previous chapter. Then interfascicular meristem, it is present in open vascular bundle of dicot stem. So interfascicular meristem or open vascular bundle, this we will study in the next video. So up to now you should know that there are three types according to the origin, that is promeristem, which is present in the embryonic stage of plant and it occupies a small area at the tip of stem and root also, and this gives rise to primary meristem. Then primary meristem, according to the position, it is represented by apical meristem. It is if it is present at the tip of root or stem. If it is present at the base of node, it is known as intercalary meristem, and interfascicular meristem means it is present in open vascular bundle of dicot stem. This we will study in detail what is about open vascular bundle and closed vascular bundle. This we are going to study in the next videos. So up to now you should know that there is promeristem and primary meristem. Then secondary meristem, it develops later in the plant body and it arises from the primary permanent tissues. So the reason here is that why it is known as secondary meristem, it is because it develops later in the plant body, and from where it develops, now you are observing here, it develops from primary permanent tissues. So we have studied that plant tissues are of two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue, and secondary meristem arises from the primary permanent tissues. So let us see here. Here we have studied promeristem, which is present in the embryonic stage of plant in the germinating embryo or young seedlings. So those meristematic cells are known as promeristem or primordial cells, or this is also known as embryonic meristem, and these cells, they occupy a small area at the tip of stem and root also. Go differentiation. Differentiation means now the cells, they have lost the ability to divide and they converted to primary permanent tissues. So primary permanent tissue again dedifferentiate. Dedifferentiate means again this cells of the primary permanent tissue, they have regained the capacity to divide mitotically, and this give rise to secondary meristem. Then secondary meristem give rise to secondary permanent tissue upon redifferentiation. Redifferentiation means the cells in the secondary meristem, they will again loses the capacity to divide, and this is known as redifferentiation, and it will give rise to secondary permanent tissue. So let us revise here what we have studied again. Pro-meristem, it will give rise to primary meristem. Primary meristem means here the cells, they are continuously dividing, actively dividing. This consists of meristematic cells which are actively dividing. Now these cells of primary meristem, they undergo differentiation. Differentiation means now the cells loses the ability to divide and they become differentiated, and it will give rise to primary permanent tissue. So primary permanent tissue consists of cells that have lost the ability to divide. Then these cells upon de-differentiation give rise to secondary meristem. De-differentiation means here the cells which have lost the ability to division, they again regain the capacity to divide mitotically and they differentiate again to secondary meristem. De-differentiate again to secondary meristem. Then secondary meristem give rise to secondary permanent tissue. Now again the cells loses the ability, and this process is known as redifferentiation. So this is the classification of meristem according to origin. If we will study about position, classification according to position, here you are observing according to position or location in the plant, the meristem, it is of three types. Apical meristem. Apical meristem is also known as terminal meristem. Since you are observing here, these meristematic cells, they are present at the tip of root and shoot, and these cells, they also results in increase in length of the plant. Then intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem, it is present at the base of internodes and they also cause increase in length of the internode. Lateral meristem, if lateral meristem, it brings about increase in width of plant and it is present on the lateral side. So you are observing here, according to the location in the plant, the meristem is of three types, that is apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Let us assume this is the plant body, and at the tip of the plant there are meristematic cells. These cells are known as apical meristem, which will divide continuously and give rise to increase in length of the plant. Then intercalary meristem, they will cause increase in length of the internode. Now you know what is internode. Internode means the space between the two nodes. Now what do you mean by node? Node is the point from where the leaf arises. So the space between the two nodes is known as internode, and this is the place at the base of the internode. Intercalary meristem is present, which causes increase in length of the internode. And lateral meristem, it is present on the lateral side of the stem and roots, and it increases girth of plant, means width of plant. Lateral meristem is responsible for increase in width of plants. Then the next one is classification of meristematic tissue according to function. So let us see first one, that is protoderm. Protoderm means it consists of meristematic cells which will give rise to epidermis. As you all know that epidermis, it is the outermost layer of cells which is present in plant body. So the outermost layer, that is epidermis, is formed from meristematic cell which is known as protoderm. Then there is procambium. Procambium means these cells give rise to vascular tissue system. In vascular tissue system there is two types of tissues, that is xylem and phloem. So procambium consists of meristematic cells which give rise to primary vascular tissue, that is xylem and phloem. Then ground meristem give rise to Ground tissue system. Ground tissue system again is differentiated into number of cells, that is hypodermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, medullary rays and pith. All these cells and structures we will study in the next video. So up to now you should know that according to function there are three types of meristematic cells, that is protoderm, procambium and ground meristem. And according to location there is apical, terminal, apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. And according to origin there is another three meristem, that is promeristem, primary meristem and secondary meristem. Now let us study about the next one, that is permanent tissue. So permanent tissues, they have lost the ability to divide and multiply. So the permanent tissues, they have lost the ability to divide and multiply, and now the cells, they have assumed a definite shape and size to perform or to carry out a specific function. So there are two types of permanent tissues, that is simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue consists of tissue in which there is only one type of cells, and complex permanent tissue consists of number of types of cells. So let us see here first of all the simple permanent tissue, that is again divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, it is formed of living cells. However, the collenchyma, it is formed of living cells only, but the sclerenchyma is formed of dead cells. The parenchyma, here the cell wall is thin and without secondary depositions. No secondary deposition of lignin is found here in parenchyma cells. Therefore, the cell wall is thin. However, in collenchyma, the cell wall is thick due to deposition of pectin and cellulose. Similarly, in sclerenchyma also, the cell wall is thick due to deposition of lignin. And the cell contains cytoplasm in parenchyma and collenchyma. However, in sclerenchyma, the cell is devoid of cytoplasm, since there is lot of deposition of lignin. Then the intercellular spaces are absent in sclerenchyma. Intercellular spaces are present in parenchyma, and in collenchyma intercellular spaces may or may not be present. So the role of these parenchyma is very important. All the secretory function or storage function in the plant is done by parenchyma, and in collenchyma this tissue provides elasticity and support to the plant body, and sclerenchyma give rise to support and strength to the plant body. Then you all know that the xylem, it is composed of again four types of cells, that is known as xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. And phloem, it consists of again four types of cells, that is sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. The xylem, it basically deals with the transport of water and minerals from root to stem and leaf, and phloem, it deals with the transport of the food prepared by the leaves to all the parts of the plant body. So this is just an introductory video so that you should revise what types of tissues are present in the plant. And in the next video we will do the topics which are included in your syllabus according to the reduced ISA syllabus. So this is all for today. Take care everyone.